Welcome inside the recruiter training with ISG. This is Andreas speaking. Vetter Andreas, I'm glad that you made the choice to buy this course. I gave many free lessons, and you will see in this lesson there's nothing such as a free lunch. Today we will speak about sales. And I want you to know that a little bit of my background. I am since 2010 in ISG, in the recruiting business, in the training business as well. Coaching, training, mentoring, and recruiting on executive search. People always ask me to give a course on sales, and that's what I do now. I want you to know how I started, because I started not knowing anything about recruiting, except that I recruited people as a manager. But I didn't know how this industry is working, and I had to learn it hardly, far away from the main company, because I was 1,350 kilometers away from Vienna. I attended a 2-day training course, learned how ISG is working a little bit, and then I was sent out. But I was a salesman, so I knew I have to go into the face of people. And I want to give you what I learned and what I knew from my previous sales and business development practices. So what I can give is what I know and what I experienced, my experience and my knowledge. But what you need is a pen and a paper. Not because of the material which I give you, because I can hand it over to you, but not the material what I will be able to hand you out. The ideas which come when I speak, or the questions which come over. Note them down and ask them afterwards to me in the chat box or to your LOS line of support. Take a pen and paper, note it down, put a file on this sales course and put in everything you can get, all your experiences, collect some stories on it, and this will be a practical thing to apply. So there are two things which are major important to be successful in sales. You want to know what it is? Number one is your attitude. And attitude is number two, a mindset. Now, I come from sales. I come from the haute couture. I was 8 years in haute couture, so high society clothing. People buy one cloth, costs a fortune, and can wear it only one time. So very sophisticated people, very sophisticated sales, very much branding involved, a lot of posture involved. So I learned it there for 8 years, for fashion shows, and learning how to sell things to them. And you sell here three things: action, attitude, and atmosphere. We'll come there. I also sold elevators and to the construction industry. So it's a lot of engineering, very different mindset. And I was in the business of FMCG, fast movable consumer goods. And again, a very different mindset there. I am also coming from the service industry, how to sell services, at least in the last 10 years, if not earlier. And so I guess I have a very wide array to give you some ideas how to sell, how to brand, and how to market yourself. So it is all about, and the most important is your mindset and your attitude. Probably you heard that before. But let me ask you a question. Who do you admire? So why is my second question, why do you admire them? And when you come to this question, why you admire them, you came to some words like they are successful, they are caring people, they are disciplined people, or they are successful, optimistic people. So the words are all about attitudes. And when we speak about attitudes, then it is a choice in reality. So changing your attitude is a choice. And if you want to change your attitude towards things, then maybe a good sample would be Viktor Frankl, the logotherapist founder. He was a psychotherapist. He was Jewish in Vienna. And in the Second World War, before the Second World War, he was imprisoned in a Nazi prison camp. And he faced death every day. And he could not influence what happened to him, but he could influence what happened in him and how he reacts to it. And he chose to see, instead of a stumbling block of the dead, focusing this one, he focused on the other side, on the seed of opportunity, on the seed of behind every adversity lays an opportunity. If you see the seed, if you see the stumbling block, you cannot use it as a stepping stone. So the attitude to change from seeing the problems to seeing the opportunity is the number one thing in sales, to be very flexible, because with a customer, you have every day another situation, every second another situation, and you can use a no turning into a yes if you are flexible enough. So changing your attitude from seeing the problem to seeing the opportunity is the number one. It is also like self-talk. I can talk to myself, oh, this is a problem, or I can talk to myself, what is the opportunity? How can I go in front of that? So how to attitude is my point number 3. But first, point number 2. Point number 2 is stories. Read stories. When you read stories of people or hear stories of people, it's always about 3 things. It's about dream, the struggle, and the overcoming the struggle, the success. Dream, struggle, success. Dream, struggle, success. Dream, struggle, success. Dream, struggle, success. It's always the same in every person. There is no such a person who is successful by birth. What the concept? It's a dream. If you really are an achiever, if you are admired, then it is because you had a dream. There was a struggle and there was a success involved. So this is the sales attitude. And the third thing, as I said, and how to attitude instead of an focusing problem attitude. Look for what can work, not for what doesn't work, what will not work. Look for what works. Have the seed and focus the seed. Prove the system right, and you will win. It starts with your attitude. Action, attitude, and atmosphere are the 3 things we will speak on this course. See you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.